America here at TPUSA, America Fest. And I have a very special guest today. Her name is Rachel from the new federal state of China. And Rachel, would you tell our viewers a little bit more about what your organization is, what you're fighting for, what you guys are up to?
Okay, so we are basically the sole mission for the new federal state of China is to taking down the evil Chinese Communist Party. So we have things gathered. The movement started in 2017.
Oh.
We actually, 5 years, more than 5 years already.
Excellent.
We have since gathered 500 million supporters. Majority of them are living in mainland China behind the firewall. So in order to see anything like this on social media, they have to get VPN and cross over the firewall. And they also put their lives at risk because the Chinese Communist Party is watching all the time because it's a surveillance state.
So are you creating like a new government outside of the government, or is this an organization to just bring light to what's happening in China? What's your mission?
So our mission is to bring light to the deception, to the lies of the Chinese Communist Party. Our vision down the road is we wanted to bring the freedom and democracy back to China. So we want the Chinese people who are hardworking, freedom-loving Chinese people have the one person, one vote system,
Yes.
just what you have, your founding father created in 1776 for everybody to enjoy.
And I think, Rachel, you said something there that's really important. I don't think everybody realizes China was not always a dictatorship. It was not always a communist dictatorship.
That's right.
And so are there, there's got to still be people living in China today who remember what it was like before the Mao Revolution.
Yes, absolutely. China, we have a 5,000 history, even more longer than that.
Yes.
But the Chinese Communist Party, who actually a foreign ideology coming from Russia, Marxism and Leninism, and they they subvert the legitimate government in China, which is a national party at the time, Taiwan, and then they created the most evil regime, totalitarian dictatorship in China for so long. That's 1949, and they have since then killed more than 100 million Chinese, and also forced abortion killed 400 million unborn kids. A lot of them are full-term babies, so their blood all over their hands. And the whole history of the Chinese Communist Party is violence and blood, and still are today because there's so many millions of Chinese locked down during the COVID-19 and they're still suffering. Many of them died starvation, and this is 21st century. This would not happen in any countries when you have the freedom and rule of law, but unfortunately my fellow country persons are losing their life over this.
Well, and right now we're seeing footage of massive riots, unrest, and things like that going on in China. How can Americans or other people around the world support the Chinese people in their fight for freedom?
That's a really good question. I thank you for that. I think you have to realize everything you share, you say on the social media has an impact. When the social media, the mainstream media has shutting us down, because the new federal state of China started 5 years ago. We have done so much, including we went to the border of Ukraine and rescued 22,000 Ukraine refugees along with the international community. We have done so much, but none of the mainstream media ever reported us. You never heard of us before today, right?
No.
So
Nope.
there's a reason. And all of the members were fellow fighters. Our Twitter account, our Facebook, our YouTube has been censored. That's why you can't hear us. We want to tell the world, America is in danger because the CCP is already here, and they have been here for 20 years. They're in everywhere, every aspect you can think of. Your
Education,
school,
landlords, business, whatever it is.
social media. Tech oligarchs, they're all partnered with them. They took over the Silicon Valley because it's the CCP's money. Guess where the money come from? It's coming from the deplorables, the 1.4 Chinese slaves. They make pennies and they're living in extreme poverty. So it is the Prime Minister that Vice President of China said that in 2020, I think, half of the country, half of the population living in extreme poverty, they owning 1,000 RMB. That's actually less than $200 a month. okay? And in today's China. And Foxconn, those forced labor, those forced concentration camp in Uyghur, it's in China, it's real. That's why they have a genocide and people dying because of this totalitarian regime. And that's why we're here. We want to tell the world the truth. And if you want to support us, support the new federal state of China, because we are the only hope for the 1.4 Chinese people living back in mainland China.
So tell our audience where they can find you, your website, your social medias. How can they reach out, donate, get involved?
Okay, so we are actually at the MFest 2022. If you're watching this, you happen to be around, visiting us. Our booth is 126, 127 on the ground. And online, we are having a Getter handle, and it's NFSC TV. Okay, SC TV.
Okay.
And we also have a website. It's nfscofficial.com. So you get all the history, all the timelines, and what we have done, things the long way. We have been persecuted since all the way from 2017. And one thing I do want to share with you, this is alarming, because on April 19th, 2017, it's a monumental landmark day in the movement. The reason why is our founder, Miles Guo, accepted the interview with Voice of America on April 19.
Okay.
And he's live broadcast, just like us. We're doing live.
Yeah.
And was shut down in the middle. It's supposed to be 3 hours, but the Voice of America shut at a 1 hour mark. Stopped him right before he's about to expose the crime and the corruption that the Vice President of China, Wang Qishan, did to the world, not just to the Chinese people. And Voice of America used to be the beacon of hope for those students that went to the 1989 the student pro-democracy movement, the massacre. They used to hide in the dormitory and listen to VOA as a hope, you know, to drink for their freedom. But the VOA on 2017, April 19, become a pawns of the CCP. And that's funding by the US taxpayers. Okay, so the CCP has been in your system for quite a long time. So we hope the American fighters, because a fighting spirit is within every one of you.
Yep.
Once you're getting to know the truth, you know who are your enemy. And the CCP is your existential threat to humankind. So we really need to take down, we need to unite it to work this together.
Absolutely. That's what, when the world depends on the United States to be the leader in freedom of speech, in liberty, in the sanctity of the individual, and if we shrink, if Americans shrink from that responsibility, who else is going to pick up the torch? So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure, go check out the website, go check out the social media.
And I want to say one thing, Eric, if I can, about American Pension Fund. So CCP has lined up a bunch of intermediaries, okay? They're Americans. A lot of them are Americans, Caucasians, but they live in a free and open society, but they're doing the dirty biddings of the CCP. So they help the CCP to lie. So your pension fund has been brought back by a lot of those intermediaries investing in China who the accounting system is completely fudged. Okay, the number are gone. They're not real profit, successful business, but they just tell you lie so they can get you money and keep the life supply of the totalitarian regime. Check with
your money.
Yes, check with your pension board. Ask them why they make this investment decision that they did, and talk to your congressman. Action, and just get to the bottom of this, because Americans is really deep in this hole. You have to duck yourself up. And with the help, we united with the new federal state of China, the fellow fighters, we're not fear for the Chinese Communist Party, because we put our lives already ahead. We put risk. Any of us speaking on camera, showing our face, our family member back home live at risk. So, but we are no longer fear, because this is really the last fighting ground. So we hope that to express that urgency through the camera to you, so you can join us. You get to know more about the new federal state of China and what we do, and the mission to take down the CCP.
Thank you so much, Rachel. We appreciate you today.
Yeah, thank you, Erica, for the time.
All
thank
right.
you. Bye, guys.